Ladies and gentlemen, this is a breaking news alert. We actually have a plan now officially, as of this morning, to finally pass the Save America Act. Folks, take a look at this. Breaking news. The House Budget Committee has officially advanced the Save America Act in a reconciliation bill, which just needs 50 votes in the Senate, plus a J.D. Vance vice presidential tiebreaker. Now, to really help break all of this down, what exactly is the plan here going forward? Guess what? J.D. Vance himself actually spoke just the other day on none other than the Joe Rogan podcast about this entire process, about this new initiative. So take a listen to this.
Federal thing. So we are right now trying to pass the Save America Act. One of its main provisions is a requirement that you do voter ID. And we actually have, I think, a majority of the Senate that would support it. But this is just weird Senate procedural bullshit. There is a subsegment of people who want voter ID but won't blow up the filibuster in order to achieve it. And so they're so married to these old world Senate procedures that they're going to make it impossible for us to pass Save America. Now, we are, for what it's worth, trying to fix that and trying to address these like weird procedural archaic things. It's insane, though. Like, if you ever, okay, I'm sure you hear people talk about the filibuster all the time.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole. Here's what the filibuster is. It is a pure Senate rule. It is a creation of the Senate procedures, which basically says that anything that has to do with the budget is a 50-vote threshold. And everything else, non-budgetary, is a 60-vote threshold. Now, as you can imagine, there's some gray area on things that maybe count as budget issues and should be 50, or are not budget issues and count at 60. So what we have tried to persuade the Senate to do is to treat the voter ID as something that can fall within the 50-vote threshold. And there is no law, there's no provision in the Constitution. It is legitimately that there are senators who are so attached to the idea that budget is 50, non-budget is 60, that they're quite literally willing to prevent voter ID in America.
Now, folks, we've got a lot to talk about here because we actually have some big developments as it pertains to all of this 50-vote budgetary reconciliation notion. But first, do me a favor. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Make sure to go find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Rumble. It really helps a lot. But okay, folks, take a look at this. Just this morning, White House insider Alex Bruzewitz is his name, actually gave all of us a little bit of an update that I think you are going to like. Take a listen to this. He says, this morning, I'm hearing that the House of Representatives is preparing to take a key vote this week to include as much of the Save America Act as possible in an upcoming budgetary reconciliation bill. All Republicans need to vote yes on the budget resolution, which I can't imagine any Republican would try to block, but stranger things have happened. Hopefully, they get it done. So the plan going forward, ladies and gentlemen, is to staple this Save America Act, or the key provisions of the Save America Act, into a budgetary reconciliation bill, shoehorn it in. All you need is 50 votes to finally push this thing across the finish line. Now, some people are saying that, well, we don't have 50 votes. Guess what we do? Senator Mike Lee actually chimed in, offering a little bit of a reminder. He says, I still don't, he's in the Senate, keep in mind. He says, I still don't understand why they thought it was okay to say that the Save America Act does not have 50 votes. We do, as a matter of fact, have 50 votes. There was an amendment vote for the Save America Act. This is back on June 21st. So what is that, 3 weeks ago, where we, as a matter of fact, we do have 50 votes. We already have the 50 votes. We've had 50 senators come out and co-sponsor the Save America Act. Now, I'm sure you are wondering here, if we've got 50 votes for the Save America Act, and we've got 53 Republican senators, and it would only take 50 votes to pass the Save America Act through the budgetary reconciliation process, who exactly were the three Republican senators who voted against it, who voted against the Save America Act? Well, I'm a fan of the name and shame process. 1, Mitch McConnell. 2, Lisa Murkowski. And 3, Thom Tillis. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest with you here. I think it's fair to say that Senator Thom Tillis is not going to be changing his mind any soon. He's recently been pushed out of the Senate. He canceled his re-election prospects. He's actually retiring because we bullied him out. We forced him out pretty much. So he's full of spite and hate. He's as rhino as a rhino can be. He's not going to be voting for this thing. And frankly, right now, we don't even know if Mitch McConnell is alive. So I don't expect him to vote for it. He voted against it. But then we get to Lisa Murkowski, who actually just this morning released an article in the Wall Street Journal that is perhaps one of the most incompetent things I've ever read in my entire life. This is what it's called. Seriously, this is written by Senator Lisa Murkowski this morning in the Wall Street Journal. It's titled, "Why I'm Voting Against the Save America Act." She says, "I believe in its objectives, but it's too draconian, especially for voters in remote parts of Alaska," says Lisa Murkowski. Now, folks, it's quite a long article. Personally, I went ahead and read through the entire thing this morning so that you don't have to. And here's pretty much what her complaint comes down to. Lisa Murkowski's argument against the Save America Act is that some 15,000 rural Alaskan voters would have to get in their car and drive a couple of hours to prove their citizenship and register to vote. She's got some 15,000 voters, Alaskan citizens, residents, living out there in the middle of nowhere. And she's concerned that they would have to get in their car and drive into town in order to register to vote and prove their citizenship. That is her concern. That's her primary concern. That is why she is against the Save America Act. Yes, seriously, go read the article. And so, because slightly inconveniencing some 15,000 rural Alaskan voters is so intolerable for Rhino Lisa Murkowski, she has decided to condemn 150 million voters, American voters across the country, to have insecure elections. Folks, Senator Murkowski here is perhaps the pure, unadulterated, refined definition of anti-American. Luckily, however, it doesn't really matter what she's got to say about all of this, or however many anti-American articles she authors in the Wall Street Journal. She does not matter, and neither does her opinion, because, as we said a moment ago, guess what? We already have the 50 votes we need in the Senate. We know that for a fact. So I'll tell you what, folks. As far as the Save America Act goes, it's going to be an absolutely massive week over on Capitol Hill, because here is what is about to happen. We are about to jam this new budgetary reconciliation bill through the House and then through the Senate, whether or not the Democrats or the rhinos like it. And on the front page will be stapled the key provisions of the Save America Act. Here's the deal. Message to the Democrats and message to the rhinos. America first is non-negotiable.